the greatest picture that painted my watching of the game was that tree when they were shaking.
I was worried about the fans. They didn't look like it was safe.
Yeah, they were celebrating. And as I was thinking about a headline: if Onduparaka has beaten Arua Hill.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe they entered Barifa Forest.
Yes.
There was no leopard on the day, and the caterpillars took over the forest. But then with the goal, it's like eventually the leopard wakes up. It was asleep, shaking all the caterpillars
off the tree.
Yeah, off the tree. So
yes.
Well, it was a beautiful scene there for Regan Pande, a player who has not had game time for some time, coming up with those goals. But again, the mistake was for Onduparaka. They knew very well about the aerial prowess of Toha. Yes. They tried to do it in the first half. You were talking about it with the commentator. How can you let Toha have a chance to head the ball? Yeah. That is a cardinal mistake you cannot do. And of all people, it is a shorter player marking him. Then the other players are not marked at all. Probably that was a mistake that they did not wake up from. And the second goal was a run from a striker who is not that fast. Yeah. So I think the two errors by the defense cost Onduparaka the result. And that is a defense we know that has not been breachable, despite the fact that they are bottom of the table. Actually, when you look at the goals tally they have let in, it shows that it's a very impregnable defense, and that is how ironic it can be that you have a very good defense, but you are bottom of the table. On a day where one of your strikers wakes up and scores a goal, you cannot keep it to win it. And the other side, you have not scored 4 games straight. You are Arua, and you bring in somebody who is not knowing any of that statistic. You can see as a brace. As soon as he came on, he created a chance for Rashid Kawawa. His impact on the game, that was something that Babazi thought about, and he brought him on. And as a substitute coming on and scoring 2 goals, that might change his mind and say, you know what, maybe this player needs more game time. As for Hamza Kalanzi, he tried to change a couple of things in the second half, bringing on Dominic Abonga, but he was nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, he has limited options as Hamza Kalanzi, the players there that he has. When you look at his first lineup, the starting lineup, you can name a few players, Mayanja Davis, Yakin Rashid, Dennis Ojara, Amos Monge, but when you go to the bench, there's no that squad depth, so that is a disturbance to him. Abonga has played a few games, he scored against Bright Stars, but right now they need that attachment to the team, because if you want to deliver in such circumstances as Onduparaka, a lot has to be done by the team, and the players they are being given the opportunity. Yes, they are fighting. They started on a deficit, and this game, a derby of sorts, they started on a good note, getting that goal, getting chances, just failing to convert them, and then that's when Arua Hill knew that they had a chance in the game, and that is the goal from Regan Pande after an assist from Kawawa, and I can credit Kawawa too, because he worked tirelessly in that game. That's why he got the applauses when he was getting off the pitch. Remember, he scored against them last season when they lost 3-0. So right now he put in a shift for Arua, and I could see Mbabazi there eagerly waiting for the final whistle so that they can celebrate tonight. But they have a game ahead. They're going to visit Express FC at Wankulukuku Stadium, and then Onduparaka will be playing KCCA. Onduparaka, this would have been their game to win, and they go on to KCCA when they have something positive. But the only positive advantage for them, when they finish KCCA, regardless of the result, they'll be hosting Maroons in the Greenlight Stadium. So at least they can get something from those games when they get back to Greenlight.
Yeah, and if they are able to get something out of the KCCA game, and then try and come back home and maybe start up some comeback to make sure that they try and get them up on the table, because if you remember when they lost a game, Rashid Okocha came out and said, we are not going to stay in the bottom of the league. We know where we are supposed to be. That is not our position. We need to climb up. Is that something that they have to work on, that resilience, because for Hamza Kalanzi, it's not looking good for them. They've lost so many matches. The 2-point deduction at the start of the season is not something that any team wants to have, and that has become detrimental. Is that can that tell us something?
Some teams right now are facing that 2-point deduction.
Yes, of course,
yeah,
of course, but
so
having it at the start of the season is even worse. Tendo.
Yeah, it is worse, but the reason, if the reason still exists, you see, even at the end of the match, they had to curtail on Rashid Okocha, who had a 5-month ban. There is something that they need to work on, the mentality of how you lose and how you feel treated. It happens everywhere. You see, even in the social media posts, and it's not their only problem. There so many teams have that mentality. I wouldn't even want to mention them. There are more than 6 teams that always think that someone is working against them. But you see, football is very funny. Even if you say so many things, it again has to be seen on the pitch. And at least on the pitch, you cannot say someone is stopping you from taking those chances.
Yeah.
You can blame the referee. You can say referee deserves any punishment you would think, but ask yourself, what do the players deserve for those missed chances? What does the coach deserve for probably choosing the wrong team? And what does the administration deserve for having the wrong coach?
Yeah.
So everywhere there is a mistake before you blame the man with the whistle. So I think that is a challenge that people have to learn in football. It has happened everywhere. We've seen mistakes. Even mistakes existed before we were born. Today, England are world champions with a goal that probably didn't cross the line. The Geoff Hurst goal in 1966.
Yes.
But they're world champions. So if you insist on so many things, you lose your focus. So I think the focus that Onduparaka needs is to strengthen that squad. The good thing is January is very near. They can boost that squad. And the Bule is talking about the strength on the bench. Of course, I don't know why Gaddafi Gadino is not even making the team. He's one player that can change things. I think it says a lot. They have many young players, but they need to boost the team with some few signings, and that is what is going to change them. The same way so many other teams need to boost. I see very few teams that are okay in terms of playing staff. I think on the average they are like 4.
Yes.
The others in this league need to boost their squads and shuffle a little bit, especially in the striking department.
Yes.
And Onduparaka is one of them. Amos Muonge, for all his hard work and all that, cannot guarantee you 10 goals a season.
Yeah.
And they had Shaban who did that. So where Shaban left, how are you going to replace him? Same thing with Arua Hill. The struggle is because they lost Leku.
Yes.
And the earlier they find a replacement for Leku, because Leku was around when all those players, apart from Ogwang, up front were around. So you need to boost that team. And the earlier they find the replacements, the better. Otherwise, this season is going to be tough. When you look at the top, you see like almost 4 teams can win the trophy.
Yes.
Wakiso, Bull, Vipers, and KCC. Those are the 4 teams that I think can go there match in, match out, depending on how the squad is and the way they are playing.
Yeah.
Then there are others also that are close by if they rectify a few errors, because the margin is still open.
Yes.
URA, Sports Club Villa, Express, they're all up there. They can even Arua Hill themselves.
Yeah.
So if all of us 6 teams or 7 teams can ask at the championship, that means the gap down is very, very, very small. Anybody can get relegated.
Yeah.
So the earlier these teams work on it, the better. Yeah.
And Godwin Tendo touched on it a bit. Onduparaka losing Mohamed Shaban. They are playing the next game against KCCA. Might we see some excitement there? Shaban facing his former team?
Of course, by the news coming in, it was like Shaban is somehow ready to be able to play again because he's been training with the team, not featuring yet, but he's been there. So maybe facing Onduparaka would be something that the KCC fans would be asking for. But I don't know what Shaban will be feeling regarding the position that Onduparaka is in right now. But a job is a job, business is business. if you're ready in the
You're
lineup,
paid for work,
you
you
need
have
to
to
go
do
and,
it.
and execute.
Yes.
I'm waiting for tender submission on that because
Well, I don't
when
think he's
Shaban
feeling
faces-
anything. If he's given a chance to play,
Yeah.
he will hurt them.
Yes.
Don't be
Definitely.
deceived, because he said last season, the
Yeah.
only team I can play for
Yeah.
in Uganda is Onduparaka. So KCC is not in Uganda.
Yeah.
So don't expect any favors if he's given a moment
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
play. He can hurt them
Yeah.
and then do a brill.
Yes.
You score, then you don't celebrate so much.
Yeah.
But you have already scored still. The
Yes.
difference is seen.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Definitely. That's it. That's all the time we have for today. Arua Hill winning against Onduparaka at the Barifa Stadium in Arua. I know there are some fans watching from the Green Light Stadium. Thanks for viewing. This is FUFA TV, the home of Ugandan sport. What a day we've had, the start of match day 10. It's been Imran Pata, Tendo Nikta Musoke, and Godwin Bule.